to all our fans out there. Hello.
This one in particular.
Our favourite fan.
Number one.
Always
Number
been there
two.
for us.
The
Number
one
two
and
is
only.
the boys above Buffet City tuning in, hopefully. Hello.
Nice. Tara's gone full radio DJ.
Wait. Do you have friends who live above a place called Buffet City?
Yeah, and it's an all-you-can-eat buffet.
What kind of food?
It's Chinese.
This sounds
Nice.
absolutely fantastic, and I would like to be friends with your friends.
That sounds like a Corona nightmare.
Yeah, I don't think it's reopened.
I can't think of anything worse than a buffet right now. Some guy just like standing over the sweet and sour chicken, sneezing all over it.
You'd still eat it though, Danny.
I'd eat anything. Let's be honest.
Do you remember that
No
place at
game.
uni where the food health rating was like 1, and like the guys would always get pizza from there?
Oh
Yep.
yeah, because they had really massive pizzas.
Five pizza represent.
Worth it. I had those pizzas and they were good.
It would
They
be
were
delivered.
good.
It would be delivered to you, and the grease would be like seeping through the cardboard of the pizza box.
Wasn't it if you ordered a large, they like, when I say large, like, they're like this, but then give you an extra pizza as well?
Yeah, at some point, yeah.
If you
At
ordered a
some
big enough
size
pizza,
threshold,
you would
they're
then
like,
get another
Just
pizza.
take it all. You've clearly got issues, just take it all. Welcome back, everybody, to this week's episode, in which we will be discussing some of our personal best and worst cinema-going experiences, as all we can do right now is reminisce and hope for better days at the cinema. To kick this off, though, got a little bit of movie news. I'm just trying to intro how sad I am about Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, it's
which
been
we
a
all
heavy
are.
week.
Yep. Horrible
Yeah.
loss. And
Just when you think 2020 couldn't get any worse.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely devastating. Can only imagine
Threw that one in.
what it's like for his family. But I know the world is in mourning right now. And I just want to say, I personally, obviously I didn't know him, but what he did for a lot of people of color around the world, it was incredibly powerful, and he brought something to us which we'd never seen before, and which honestly did change my life personally, because it was just so powerful, and it was bringing to light a world that we'd never seen, and a world that could be, and gave us so much hope, and made me feel so powerful as well. So thank you, Chadwick. Rest in power.
Yeah.
Beautifully said.
You gotta
Beautifully
respect
said.
how much effort and energy he put into making great cinema, even after he was diagnosed with colon cancer. That he still put out like multiple Marvel movies, which require, they have a real physical toll on your body because you have to maintain like absurd muscle mass. Plus films like The Five Bloods, and a film that hasn't come out yet.
One has come out, Marshall came out. That's the thing, like, what an incredible career to have had, where you play so many iconic people, like whether they be like figures in history or people like T'Challa. That's such a legacy, and what a gift that he gave everyone through his work. And I think, as sad as his loss is, I'm so glad for him that he was able to do the work that he wanted to do, and that the work he has done means so much to so many people for many reasons. So a really, really, really sad loss. I think it's something we're all going to be feeling for a very long time, especially fans of the Marvel Universe, just because he was such an important part of it.
Yeah, for sure. Where do you think that they will take it now? Do you think it's right to I guess they either have the opportunity to recast, which I don't think they should do, or do you think that they will take it in a different direction, or do you think they will leave it where it is and kind of tie a knot in it?
It's hard to say. I think it's also like it's too soon to say. Like, seeing Ryan Coogler's statement, it's very clear that he was in the midst of kind of putting together the next Black Panther movie and had very specific ideas of what to do with the character and what he wanted to happen, based on Chadwick Boseman's performance and what he brought to the role, which I think has been so interesting to read about, is how much work he put into building that character. So I think at the moment it's probably too early to say, but I would say I feel safe in the hands of a director like Ryan Coogler, who didn't just work with Chadwick Boseman, but was his friend through the work they did together, that I feel safe that whatever direction they choose to do will be one that kind of upholds his legacy.
Yeah.
Mm.
The one thing I hope they don't do is abandon the Black Panther part of the Marvel
No,
franchise.
they can't.
'Cause,
It's too big. It's too important.
yeah, and there's
Yeah.
too many other amazing characters they have and actors they have. You know, Lupita Nyong'o, Letitia Wright.
Yeah.
They
And the creative team, the director, it's just such a big thing, and they're so good at what they do.
Yeah.
So I can't see this ending yet.
Yeah,
No,
and
I
I think
guess
I think in some way that you know, the work that Chadwick Boseman put into it, he'd want it, his kind of that kind of legacy to carry forth into the next chapter of Black Panther. In that, you know, it continues to do the good work and the progress that it's made for cinema, and that would continue. So I don't think we've seen the last of the kind of Black Panther franchise in itself in the kind of Marvel universe. I think that it will probably bring on a different light that kind of honors the kind of memory of Chadwick.
yeah, think so.
Rest in peace. Wakanda forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Forever.
so Justice League news. Plenty, if not too much of that. I've not been kept up to date, so anyone want to jump in and discuss that?
Yeah, like we've watched quite a lot of it. We tried watching the original Justice League movie. I kind of want to preface this with the fact that we are both quite strong Justice League fans and DC fans. Like definitely when I was a kid, I was way more into DC than I was into Marvel. I only got into Marvel through the Marvel movies.
Sorry,
So-
were you into the original Justice League movie that
No.
Joss Whedon released?
No. I'm saying that.
Okay. You should have made that
No,
clear.
Justice League is in like the group of characters.
The concept.
The concept. It's very specifically the TV show. I used to love that shit. It was so good. So when the Justice League movie came out, I was very excited for the idea of it. I didn't like the execution at all. We tried watching it on Netflix recently. Literally had to stop after half an hour just because it was very hard going.
Unwatchable trash is how I
It
would
really
describe
was.
the first 15 minutes.
Like what I can't understand is what they were thinking with like that main villain. Like it was just an absolute like car crash
Yeah.
of a sort of story and of like a story arc and the kind of like I guess like I just why
Why would you do this?
I'm asking you a question. Why?
Yeah, I
Why?
think
God damn it!
it sounds like I'm actually excited and will be wanting to watch the new version of the Justice League coming out, because it's always hard when you pass on someone's vision to someone else, like they had to do with this movie, and it seems like it was a little bit too much studio involvement. I do think it's interesting how Warner Brothers are now kind of like leaning into it, being like, yeah, Zack Snyder's Justice League, and it's like, guys, you did this.
It's so
But,
true.
like, I feel a bit sorry for Joss Whedon because he kind of has been like completely lambasted, and like it's all been pinned on him. Not saying that he hasn't done like he deserves like his fair share of the blame here, but come on, guys.
Like, they knocked over Snyder's pint, and now they're like, somebody bring this man a pint!
yeah.
It's so true.
But I am excited for it because the fact that it's going to be 4 1-hour segments, I've always felt with Zack Snyder's work, in particular with Watchmen, which is a movie I actually really do like, but I felt like needed to be a 6-part miniseries rather than like a 2.5-hour movie. So I'm kind of glad that with Justice League we're going to kind of get something like that. I think that'll be quite cool.
With Zack Snyder's movies, they are quite like, I guess like they need to be kind of broken up into those kind of smaller segments, like to be quite digestible, because they are quite like indulgent and extravagant and colorful. So I'm thinking specifically of like Sucker Punch, which works really well because it's kind of like sort of like 7 or 8 different movies in one film, which is why I love it so much because
it's so good.
like stylistically, it's just like Zack Snyder's wet dream. It's just like eight segments of Zack Snyder just absolutely just going to town on a canvas.
That film, it's like as a woman, as a human being, I should not like Sucker Punch. Every time I watch it, I just engage my lizard brain. I'm like, I love this.
Yeah,
It's so
there's no
good.
logic behind it, but it's very beautiful.
Oh,
It's
so
enjoyable
good.
cinema.
Just
It's
It's
so
enjoyable
good.
trash.
So
It is
good.
just enjoyable trash. And like one of the first movies to introduce us to Oscar Isaac, which is like it's one of his first sort of major breakout films.
Very
I'm super-
important piece of cinema history.
I think that's
Exactly.
a testament to his acting ability, because he's like a really bad guy in that film, but
He
to
is
the
indeed.
point where he's not even hot.
No, he's
And I
like
didn't
completely like
realise.
loathsome. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Hasn't he got
so
like a shave?
creepy.
Hasn't he got like a shaved head as well? Or
I
is he
remember,
like?
but it was just
Oh, like a
creepy
mustache.
vibes.
He's got a creepy
creepy
mustache.
vibes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a talent! Wouldn't even go there in that film.
I'm looking forward to the Schneider cut though, just because I do think that it's gonna be a bit more bonkers, but with a little bit more substance that the Justice League actual film lacked.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think I'm not holding out. I think everyone's kind of, well, not everyone, that's an exaggeration. There are some people who are like, it's going to be the best thing ever, like really kind of hyping it up. I didn't really like Man of Steel or Batman vs Superman a whole bunch.
I liked Batman vs. I liked Man of Steel. I wasn't a fan of Batman vs Superman, but I liked Man of Steel.
Man of Steel,
If
I feel
only
like, had its
for the
moments.
soundtrack.
Yeah, that's true.
If
But
only for the soundtrack. That's saying such a big thing.
so I'm not crazy about it. There are things that they're saying which I like the sound of. I know that Ray Fisher, who plays Cyborg, is going to be in it a lot more, which I think is a big thumbs up because of the half an hour we watched of the movie. I really liked the scenes that he was in, and I was really getting sad because I knew everyone said that he wasn't in it enough. So that's good. Thumbs up. He said some very interesting things about working with Joss Whedon.
Yeah, that dude put Joss Whedon on burn.
Like really,
Really?
yeah,
What did
really.
he say?
Just that it was a really horrible filming experience with Joss Whedon.
Oh.
And that he really didn't enjoy it. So I'm glad for him that he's going to have the version of the movie he kind of deserved, because it was kind of a big breakout role for him. So hopefully he'll have a bit more to do. From what I understand, there's going to be a lot less of the Joss Whedon kind of quipping in it. So the Flash's character is going to have a bit more substance. I feel weird kind of commenting on a film that I haven't actually seen all the way through. I've seen the first half an hour, but I'll be interested in watching
Oh,
the
you've
4
never
version.
seen
You saw
any
enough.
of it.
You saw enough.
We
You saw enough.
we saw half an
Sorry.
hour, and we got to the
Sorry.
bit where they were fighting on where's Diana's home,
Themyscira.
Themyscira. We got to that scene, and I was like, "This is enough. That this is no bad."
Yeah. You see enough. I think you see enough to base an entire review on. I think that it was probably maybe like 5 minutes too much. If I would say anything, maybe 5 minutes too much. If you'd have gone for sort of 25 minutes, you'd have had an accurate review. But maybe 5 minutes has clouded your judgment just a little.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing, as you mentioned, you love Batman versus Superman, Danny, but you love the
No.
soundtrack.
No, I
Man
didn't
of
like
Steel.
Batman versus Superman. I
Oh, sorry,
like Man
Man
of Steel.
right? So when you watch Man of Steel, do you then just close your eyes
Yeah.
and listen to it?
Yeah, it was a great movie.
Right.
Great
Okay,
movie with my
yeah.
eyes closed.
Okay, I'm gonna try that. Sounds great.
Yeah.
What an insult! That's
Yeah,
one
if
thing
you
I'll
play-
give to Zack Snyder. His films are pretty. His films do look good.
They
Although,
do look good. Yeah.
Here's the big
And they-
question from me. Oh, sorry, Danny.
No, I was going to say no. They do look good. I think it's the kind of like the speed ramping, where he kind
Yeah.
of does the slow mo and then the fast. Just
Well,
gets you going.
That is
doesn't
my
it?
question. Every Zack Snyder film starts with a slow-mo sequence. What is the slow-mo sequence gonna be in Justice League?
I don't know.
Slow-mo running of a cube around
I feel like-
Themyscira?
I feel like Joss Whedon tried it. Like when they're driving in the car, and like Batman's car, right? And then the Batman's car, the Batmobile,
The half an hour we
the
watched
car
of
of
it is so
the car of
bad.
Batman, Batman's car, Batman's automobile.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tried it with that, right? Like, because isn't like Jason Momoa? Is that his name?
Momoa. Yeah.
Momoa. Isn't he like
Um,
hanging out of the car or something, and he does some slow mo shit in the air? And so,
But that's not the
I-
start.
is
I
it
feel
not?
like, isn't the start to do with the funeral? Oh, we don't know. The movie has not left an imprint on any of us.
But we're excited to
confusing it.
try the Snyder Cut.
But there's
I'm
loads
confusing
of
it with Batman versus Superman. Is that when you see Bruce Wayne's parents die again?
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that was definitely in slow-mo.
Which next thing I wanted to ask about was the new Batman trailer. Will we
Are
see
they
the
gonna-
death?
And they have to. I assume that's like a legal thing. If you want this character, you have to show how his parents were brutally murdered.
You have to do it in
Every
slow
time.
motion. When they did it in the
Yeah.
Joker, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like,
He's even in that film.
He is in that film. He's a
baby Bruce Wayne's in that film. Such a
Yes.
piece of shit, that movie. Anyway.
Don't insult the Joker on the internet. We'll be bombarded.
Are we excited for Robert Pattinson as the Batman?
Yes,
You know-
all my
yeah.
feelings were flooded back from my Twilight era, to be honest.
You know, we had the reconnaissance. The reconnaissance. Do you remember the
Yeah.
reconnaissance?
Yeah.
Oh,
The era of Matthew McConaughey.
What an age
essentially.
to be alive.
What an age to be alive, with the Dallas Buyers Clubs, the True Detectives, I can't even remember
Wolf of
any
Wall
of his
Street.
other films. Wolf of Wall Street, exactly. Do you think we're in the Pattisonaissance?
I feel like there's a better word we can come up with. than
Yeah.
this.
If anyone's been listening to the Weekly Planet,
Robert
they,
Battenbat!
call him Robert Battenbat, which is great.
Robert Battenbat.
Robert Battenbat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
It's the
But, you
era
know,
of that.
He's been in some incredible films of late. Off the top of my head, a film he did with the Safdie brothers, Good Time, was incredible. He also did The Lighthouse.
Did you watch that?
Which is on us now.
Is
What,
Danny
Tenet?
breaking up, or is it just us?
Danny is breaking up.
Danny is breaking up.
Danny?
I'm breaking up with all of you guys.
Oh,
Am I still here?
Oh!
No,
Am
you're
I
good.
still here?
You're here. You're good.
Can
You're
you
good.
go back to I got to the lighthouse. Did you
The
watch that?
Lighthouse. I haven't seen The Lighthouse
Okay.
yet. It's still on the top of my list, but I'm just waiting for it to come to a streaming service near you. Which hopefully will be within the next couple of months, as I think it came out at the start of the year, didn't it? So yeah, hopefully soon. And then obviously Tenet, which is in cinemas now, a cinema near you. Please wear a mask.
Please wear a mask, for the love of God.
And then obviously he's the new Batman. So I think it's the Pattisonaissance.
Robert Battenbat era.
Robert Battenbat.
Robert Battenbat era.
Yeah, I can see that. He's doing a lot of artsy films, which is very Joaquin doing, like the equivalent of Joaquin doing the Joker. Like he's a really, what's the word?
Method
really like
actor.
method actor, and like he's really serious and amazing at what he does. And then he's done like a mainstream character in a sort of artsy film, but obviously everyone loved it. So if Robert Pattinson hadn't have done Twilight, he would be on that sort of, he's like that equivalent. But you know,
Yeah,
he's
Twilight-
very much defined by the Twilight era.
Yeah, I feel it's a very much a double-edged sword because it made him amazingly famous,
Yeah,
but also basically all teen boys at the time like rejected him.
Well,
En
Yeah.
masse, because
and to be fair, his performance in Twilight isn't particularly great, but he wasn't. Actually, that's unfair. I feel like in the first Twilight, his performance is pretty good because it was Catherine Hardwicke, I feel, who
Yeah,
directed the first
yeah, it
one,
was.
and like I think she had put a lot of her vision into the film, and it makes it like an okay enough film. But I feel like the performance kind of goes down. I imagine it's just because like chopping and changing directors so often, and the scripts aren't particularly strong. No offense to Twilight, we love you.
I would have thought they'd also become a bit disillusioned by it when the fandom went so crazy.
Yeah, it must have been
It's
a
got to
weird.
affect you.
If you think about like who they are as actors, like Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson, they are very much kind of like that indie style actor. So it's kind
They're
of
very
almost,
low key.
yeah, it's almost kind of amazing that they were actually in Twilight because it's just their acting styles outside of those movies. I really like. I like both of them a lot.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm really excited to see his version on it. He's got a jawline which can support being Batman.
Yeah.
Big old
Yeah, it's got-
thumbs up.
It's got more curves than the Batarang.
Nice.
Noise.
My favorite thing about
More
that
Jack
trailer
Legend.
is when Robert is beating up a guy and punches him 3 more times than necessary, just to like convince comic book fans that this is no longer Twilight Robert Pattinson, that this is hardcore gritty Batman. Yeah, he's cool now because he punched a guy too many times. So don't worry.
Punches him for every single Twilight movie. Like, there's Eclipse, there's New Harvest Moon, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
And part
Harvest
2.
Moon.
And this is for
There's
Midnight
part
Sun!
This is part 2. This is for
He is
Hufflepuff.
not gonna get that reference.
Oh, basically...
No, it's better if you don't explain.
No, we'll explain. Stephanie Meyer wrote Twilight from Edward's perspective years ago. It was called Midnight Sun. It got leaked, so then she was like, I'm not going to publish it. And then this year, she has written it and published it. And me and Tara had a text conversation, which I messaged her being like, I might buy Midnight Sun. And as a 27-year-old woman, I don't know what that means.
Okay, yeah.
I think a lot of late 20s ladies will be buying Midnight Sun.
I mean, I'm at home. No one can know. No one can judge me.
14-year-old is like on board with Twilight these days. Nah,
Good point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
they've
they've
learned
got-
more.
very much our era.
Yeah, 14-year-olds have got other interests, like,
saving
the planet and stuff.
Yeah, whereas
Leave
we're
us.
like, I want my shiny vampire boy.
It just wasn't needed. They tore down a rainforest to produce that book. I mean, come on.
On paper, for shame.
Ooh.
Come
Anyway, other DC news. There's another Suicide Squad movie and 2 video games.
Video game looked really good.
Yeah.
I thought the video game looked fun. I think the Suicide Squad teaser stuff looked really interesting.
Are you gonna get the video game?
Kieran will get it and I'll watch him play it.
Will
Yeah, because I don't know how to play video games.
I?
You could learn.
Or
on the
I
Suicide
could
Squad.
not and get... Because that's how I play video games. Is that Kieran will get a video game and I will sit and watch him play the video game. That's how I've like we have played Final Fantasy on several occasions.
And the new Suicide Squad is directed by James Gunn, right?
Yeah.
Of Guardians of the Galaxy fame. When Guardians of the Galaxy was first announced, and James Gunn was attached to it, I remember thinking, what the hell is the guy who wrote Scooby-Doo 2 going to do with this? And I was like, this is not going to be great. I mean, I loved Scooby-Doo 2 as much as the
Did
next
he write
man.
Scooby-Doo 1?
He did
Oh,
both.
I think he did
Oh,
both.
okay, cool. That's a good
Anyway,
one.
I love the Scooby-Doo movies as much as the next man. But when he was announced for Guardians of the Galaxy, I was like, what the f- is this guy going to do with this film? But I was pleasantly subscribed
Subscribe to his work.
subscribed to his work, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm, who knows what he'll do with Suicide Squad? It might be, he might pull it out of the bag in the way that he
The
pulled Guardian.
Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad.
DC went through great pains in the marketing to make it very clear that this was the biggest film he's ever done.
Yeah, it was like, this is the most exciting project I've ever worked on. We're like, you fucking liar. Like, we know
Come
what
on
you've been.
now.
Guardians! Freaking Guardians! It was a pretty big deal.
Guardians was a huge deal, but I'm really excited for the Suicide Squad. Just any excuse to see Margot Robbie play Harley Quinn. She is so
Yeah.
good and she has so much fun that even like Suicide Squad, which is a terrible movie, was good enough for me to want to go and see a standalone Harley Quinn movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
She really brings it.
The whole gang back. Is Will Smith back?
Everyone
Is-
but Will Smith.
Will Smith is
Everyone
not
the
back.
but
characters
Will
who
Smith.
died in the last one.
Did he?
No, the characters who died. So the fire guy.
Did
Yeah,
Will Smith?
Diablo.
And the
Did Will Smith's character die?
No, but he's just not back.
No,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
But they've got
saying he's not
loads
back
of more
and-
people in it. Like
Yeah.
John
Okay.
Cena's in it, Idris Elba's in it.
So I was watching like a breakdown of the trailer, and it looks like they have so many characters that it's going to be 2 teams, and one of them is going to be the Suicide Squad, and the other team is basically going to be there to be killed off.
Okay,
I think there's going to
so-
be way more deaths in this one. I think James Gunn is going to do a lot of comedy deaths in it.
Yeah.
There are
well, there's
so
such
many
ridiculous
people.
characters.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the cast now. I mean, the obligatory just stick Taika Waititi in it and it'll land. I mean, that obviously
Yeah.
seems to be the kind of Hollywood's mentality at the minute. Has it got Taika Waititi in it? No. Put him in it. It'll be a hit.
He's not busy.
He's hot shit at the minute. Put Taika Waititi in it. He'll do it. I'll read down the list. Margot Robbie.
He's allowed to do it because he's directing Marvel stuff.
I don't think
Yeah.
they have exclusivity clauses.
You
Apart from
can't,
the,
you can't tie Taika Waititi down. He can't be.
No, you can't.
He's too much of a man. I don't know why I said that. He's too much of a man.
Such a man.
Oh yeah, Pete Davidson's in
Davidson.
it. Yeah, we saw a clip of him.
Nepotism at its finest. Sean Gunn is in it.
Oh no,
Sean Gunn is in all of James Gunn's movies.
and I love him. I love.
No one, yeah, no one's mad about that.
We
Again.
rewatched Guardians 2 in the last week or so, and Sean Gunn in Guardians 2 is so good. He's great.
Yeah. Have you seen the on-set pictures where he actually plays like Rocket on set, right? Like, so he's actually like in the green suit.
Yeah, John Cena's just like stroking him on the head.
Not John Cena. That's
Oh no, the other wrestler.
Oh my god.
Right.
But Dave Bautista.
Oh,
Bautista.
thank you. I was not gonna get there.
Michael Rooker again is in it, so he's using the same cast here. Peter Capaldi.
I feel like
Interesting.
that's gonna be someone who dies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, Peter Capaldi's dies in the first 15 energy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He definitely goes. I mean, it's a pretty decent cast. There's a lot more people, but I won't read out
Yeah, there's
every.
Right.
way too many people for them. to
Theory,
kill
though.
off.
The people who are truly great character actors who can put across like a whole character in just a few minutes of screen time, they're the ones that are going to die.
I feel like before this movie comes out, when we're like able to safely go to the cinema again, and I think that's the point we're going to get to, we should rank order of deaths
Oh, I'm
and
so
see
ready.
who gets it closest.
Nathan Fillion, number one.
Number one, yeah, he's just like he's
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 so
an
dead.
insta kill.
You're like, okay, guys, I guess we should.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that's Nathan Fillion.
Yeah,
How much screen time do you
Yeah,
think
he's
he'll
done.
get?
I think he'll be there for like 5 minutes.
he'll probably be the first one who's knocked off
Yeah,
reckon.
absolutely.
in a
So it won't be
comedy
like,
death.
like a Brad Pitt in Deadpool 2, where we only see a flash of it.
I'm just I'm reading that some trivia, and they're not calling it Suicide Squad 2. It's just called the Suicide Squad, right? Because
The
it's
Squad, yes.
Suicide Squad, because they're counting it as a reboot, not a sequel.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why we were saying the Suicide
The
Squad.
Suicide Squad.
The.
Just put a "the" on front of it, and
Yeah.
it's different.
Right, we got a lot of news to get through, guys. We better
Yes, okay. The Mulan price is £19.99 in the UK. Are we going to buy it?
I heard a rumor that it's going to be free in December.
Right. I was wondering about that because I looked on the Disney Plus app and it says something about you can get this exclusively before it, like, whatever they do with it.
Yeah.
So
That's probably true. It probably will have a sort of small premium window in which that maybe 3 months or something where it will be £20 or $20 or whatever. But then eventually it will phase into Disney Plus. I'm sure as probably most of their content will.
Yeah. And frankly, for 20 quid, we have enough people on our Disney Plus account. I think I'll just do it.
Yeah,
how many people are on your account?
No, we've got different profiles. So, like, my parents have a profile, my brother and soon-to-be sister-in-law profile.
but it's one account, right?
Yeah.
It's one account, but you can have multiple profiles.
No,
And
I
the
know
purchase
that.
works
So,
across.
like, how many people
So, like,
in
5.
total are using it? Right.
In
So you could
total,
split this-
5 or 6, yeah.
Is the £20 payment? Is it a one-off or is it spread across your monthly bills or whatever? Like, can you is it like added to your, or is it
Probably
one-off?
added into your next month's payment, but then
Yeah.
some people paid for the year.
So it'll probably just be
Yeah,
a
they'll-
one-off if you
yeah.
paid for the year. Then
Yeah.
£20.
Yeah, we paid for the year, so I guess it'll be like one off.
Are you guys gonna do it?
Well, I was going. I was really like, no, not going to do it. And then my mum was like, I will split the cost with you. And I was like, okay, mum, I might do it. But then if it's going to be free in December anyway, I'm like, can I
Yeah.
wait 3 months? Probably. I could probably wait 3
I
months.
can.
Well, this is my thinking. We do a film podcast. Somebody in this team
Watch a
has to
film.
watch Mulan.
One of us has to see a new release at some point in 2020. Yeah. I mean, we can talk about Onward. We saw Onward.
Can we just discuss, like, streaming films? You know, Netflix releases films every now and again.
But you know what's bad? And this is going to sound... Okay, this is really bad. When Netflix releases a movie, it doesn't feel like a real movie. And that's a mean thing to say.
I know what you mean.
With the exception of, like, the bit, like, The Irishman, The Five Bloods. Like, when they get, like, a real, like, named director in to do something. But...
Lisa, are you telling me that The Night Before Christmas isn't a real movie?
I love The Night Before Christmas. When we get to Christmas, we are going to do... I'm saying it now, you guys have no choice. We're going to review all of the Christmas movies that are on Netflix. The made-for-Netflix Christmas movies. Because there are some top-tier ones. Name the ones with Vanessa Hudgens. They are fantastic.
I have some theories about Vanessa Hudgens' multiple parallel timelines and universes that we can get to.
Oh, can we loop it in with Spring Breakers? Is it in there? Is it in the universe?
Oh, I saw Spring Breakers, and that movie was... I went, like, with my friends from school, and, like, we were all really excited, because we thought it was going to be, like, cool girls go on it. And it was just, like, James Franco singing Britney Spears really slowly. It was so weird. Although he was the best thing in it, so what do you know?
Yeah, he was.
Are you guys going to watch that new cooking show she's doing?
Vanessa Hudgens doing a cooking show?
What the hell is that?
Oh,
Vanessa
sorry,
Hudgens?
no, I confused it with Selena Gomez.
To be fair, they're from the same Disney factory. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, it could have been Ashley Tisdale.
Anyone going to watch the Selena Gomez one?
No, I'm going to watch the
adorable.
I'm going to watch the Amanda Bynes one.
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah, that one's better.
Yeah,
that one's going to be good.
Okay, Tenet. I said Tenet, didn't I? Tenet.
Yeah, I can't say Tenet.
Tenet.
The film is called Tenet.
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 Tenet. Tenet.
You meant to say it backwards.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Oh, right.
Of course, Tenet.
Tenet.
There we go.
Exactly.
Okay, right. Okay, so my lots of reviews have come out. I'm very intrigued now. My logic now is that I have been to a few restaurants in which you're sat in a big room. There's other people there. Obviously, you're distanced, but you're not wearing a mask. Is that the equivalent to sitting in a cinema, distanced from other people, and they are wearing masks? I'm getting convinced here.
I would say, and like, we aren't going to restaurants because I don't like the idea of being around unmasked people breathing and slopping about. So I actually think that in a way, if you can go to a cinema where you are far apart from people, maybe there's only like 2 or 3 other people in the cinema, and the R rate in your specific area is low, then maybe it's interesting, because like the last podcast that we recorded was about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
In which I was like, I won't go to the cinema.
We all swore up and down, no Mulan, no Tenet. We were out. And in the space of like 2 weeks, we were all like, yeah, I might go.
And then they released New Mutants, and we couldn't resist.
Oh gosh.
I've been twice now.
That's the one I would actually consider going to, because it's going to be empty screens. Like, why wouldn't you go?
That's very true. That's very true.
I've only seen one review of New Mutants, and it was quite positive, just because the guy is quite positive. I'm not really sure how accurate.
The reviews I've seen of it is just like, like it's kind of like what a lot of people are saying is it feels quite outdated because it's a movie that's part of a franchise that hasn't existed for a couple of years now.
Yeah, it is fair to say it would be outdated because it is literally outdated. Yeah.
Go ahead, Danny. Sorry.
No, I was going to say it missed its landing, didn't it? Really, it had a window of opportunity, and it definitely expired. And then everyone kind of forgot about it, and then it's suddenly here, and it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
I mean, we were on leave last week, which was lovely, and that's where Tenet got released in UK cinemas.
Leave from the podcast.
On leave from living. So I started playing this. Sorry, I'm alive again. It's fine. I came back to life. I started playing this game of checking local cinemas and seeing how full their screens were for Tenet. Not because I was going to go, because I was just like, what are things like? And actually, interestingly, I've discovered a couple of things. Odeon cinemas seem to block book some seats, the same seats in every single screen, which I'm assuming is for staff. Because I was like, why are people always sitting in these weird seats? They seem to be blocked off, which is interesting. What's become more interesting is I thought it was going to be really busy over the bank holiday, and it wasn't. But now looking for this week's bookings, a lot busier, which is interesting.
So you were right about that, the prediction of no one will go at the start because they're like, not because they assume everyone goes. And they realise that no one has gone at the start, so then everyone goes.
Yep.
I mean, I'm always right.
Who made that screaming hot take? Because that's like... Put that down. Prediction, swish. 3-pointer.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You win the podcast.
It's like the classic kind of double bluff, really, isn't it? It's the kind of like, I'm not going to go because it's going to be busy, so I'll go next week because everyone would have got it out of their system, but nobody went the first week. And then they're like, and then everyone turns up the second week. So it's like...
It's tricky. I think we have now come to a conclusion. Two options. Option number one is, at the moment, we are bubbled up with my parents. So whilst we are in a bubble with them, we don't do anything risky. We are due to see them next week for various dog-related reasons. And after that, we probably won't have to see my parents for a little while. So we feel more comfortable doing riskier things. So after that point, either we live really close, about a 10-minute walk from a cinema. We could look at cinema listings, and if, say, an 8:30 showing is empty and it's 8:15, just be like, all right, we're going to chance it. Or we have more leave booked off in September, and if we go on like a Wednesday at 2, how busy will it be if kids are back at school, uni students are back at university? Please stay safe, all of you. Maybe. Ugh.
Yeah.
What about
I
you,
think that's
Danny?
probably
Are you doing the mental gymnastics to go see a new movie?
Well, I walked past a Everyman yesterday. I went for a walk and I walked past an Everyman, and the doors were open, and I started getting little heart flutters because it's like, oh my god. And then as I walked past, the sweet, soft smell of popcorn drifted through the doors, and it was like the devil on my shoulder, just saying like, go in, go on, go and see a film. You know you want to. And in that moment, in that brief second, I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go in and see Tenet. And then I saw the big sign that was like, please wear a mask. I was like, ah, fuck that. Like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not sitting 3 hours for a Christopher Nolan movie like fucking Bane, just like, yes, this is great. I'm loving this movie.
Very fair, respectable decision.
How do you guys feel about wearing the mask in the cinema?
I'm cool with it. Just wear it. I have a few homemade masks, and then there's the blue like disposable ones. I think wear the blue ones because they're a lot less tight on your ears, so you like notice them less. So you could, in theory, sit there for 3 hours with it on, and you'd be all right.
And you can breathe a little better. I've got like a sort of padded one that has like a filter inside it, and I can't like breathe that well after like half an hour of wearing it. I need to like pull it down and like gasp some air. So yeah, I don't know. I don't want to sit in a cinema for 3 hours wearing a mask. Like, it just doesn't appeal to me. Like, I want to see Tenet so bad, and I want to see it on the big screen. But like, I guess a compromise has to come somewhere.
Yeah, blue disposable one.
Yeah, I think I probably will.
We were talking to my parents about this last week. When I was seeking permission from my mother to go to the cinema. I'm a 27-year-old woman.
Woman.
But I was like, I can't deal with the icy cold judgment of Mrs. Jan Bryan. So I asked, like, well, what do you think about this? I was like, you know what, if you went to like a 9 o'clock screening in the evening and you're the only people there and it's the last screening of the day, is there any harm in you not wearing your mask? Because I know I've been keeping myself secure. so I won't be putting the staff in any danger. Then she said, yeah, but if there's been screenings all day and there've been people who have been taking their masks off, you still need to wear a mask. Like, the only way...
It's almost like a human diffuser. Just sort of slowly breathing COVID into the air for the whole day.
So I kind of want to go to like the first screening of the day now.
Except it isn't a lovely lavender smell. It's the bitter taste of COVID in your mouth.
God.
Evocative. Okay.
But we've now all made the agreement as a podcast that whoever breaks first and sees Tenet first has to buy the first round and we're all allowed to go back to the pub.
Yeah. And that was the other sort of angel on my shoulder saying, He'll cost you a round of drinks. And I was like, fuck it, yeah.
Unless we all have a round.
Let's just go home.
Around where I live, and then it's not really a big deal.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Rounds for everyone.
On to the main event. 41 minutes in.
Are we actually 40 minutes in?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Whoops.
Who would like to kick off with their worst ever cinema going experience that sticks in your mind?
I mean, Liz, I know you have a great story here. It's too good.
She's itching to tell it. Come on, set us off.
It was really sad, and spoilers for Force Awakens. I feel like you guys might already know this story, where I was really, really excited for The Force Awakens. I am a fairly big Star Wars fan, and was especially hyped because the trailers for The Force Awakens are amongst my favourite trailers for a movie ever, because they gave nothing away about the plot. I was super excited. Han Solo's back! Like, it was going to be the best. This was a couple of years into our relationship, and it was Christmas time, and we had just given each other our Christmas gifts, and it was very sweet and lovely. And because I was, Kieran just gave me so many gifts. He didn't. I can't remember what he gave me. I think it was slippers.
Just lavish with presents.
I think it was slippers.
Such a great boyfriend.
I think actually they're elf slippers with jingly bells on. Anyway, so he was taking the presents back to the car, and I was like, "It's fine. I'll queue and get us popcorn." Kids left the cinema, having just seen The Force Awakens. Teenage boy very loudly says, "Oh my god, I can't believe they killed Han Solo." And I was like, what? And then Kieran came back, he was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, I think I just heard a big spoiler. And he was like, "What is it?" And I was like, "I'm gonna tell you." And normally I can't contain a feeling, but I was like, I can't ruin this for Kieran in the same way it was ruined for me. It was exactly like what happens in The Simpsons when Homer comes out and it's like, "Wow, I can't believe Darth Vader is Luke's father." It's like, it was exactly that. And it was so devastating. And in the screen, as soon as Han steps onto that damn bridge, I was like, great. I know exactly what's about to happen. There was no tension in that moment for me with Kylo Ren struggling whether he's going to kill his dad or not. It was so upsetting to the extent that for subsequent Star Wars movies, when I have stood in the queue to get popcorn, I have worn headphones. And when I've gone to the loo, I have kept my headphones in whilst going to the loo because I don't trust anyone.
You shouldn't. You just shouldn't. I had the same experience. Now hear me out. It was Breaking Dawn Part 2.
It was important back then. It was important to all of us.
It was very important back then, okay?
We all went on the bus. We all took the bus together to the cinema.
We were on the bus, headed to the cinema, and some person sat nearby reveals the ending, and it broke my damn heart.
Was it Part 2?
Part 2, the last bit.
That's like saying
I get you, Liz.
Voldemort dies in the end.
But, unlike you, that no longer affects me because I don't care about Twilight anymore.
I still love those movies. They have such a fondness in my heart, mainly because of us going to see Part 2 at uni, and then B, somehow watching those movies all the time when we were at uni. Oh, God.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Listening to your story, Liz, reminded me of my worst cinema experience. Completely unrelated, kind of terrible. And this one, entirely my own fault. So I think I was turning 13 or 12, one of the two. and I wanted to like go to the cinema with all my friends, but it was like February, so there's really not much out. But I had seen an advert for what I thought was a comedy, and it had Jennifer Aniston in it. And so this is like peak Friends. So I make all of my friends, like 11 of them, go out and buy tickets to what turned out to be like a romance film. Like me and all of my pre-teenage boyfriends.
What was it?
I think
What
it
was
was
the
The
film?
Breakup or Friends with Money, or maybe Rumor Has It. I
You
don't
don't even know which.
I don't
You don't
remember
know.
because it was such a terrible experience. Like the film was just like we were not the audience, but the
I really
trailer,
hope it was this one.
the trailer made it look hilarious. And you know, like Jennifer Aniston is an amazing comedy actress,
Right.
so like I was so ready to like
Wait,
laugh
name,
and laugh and laugh.
Name a good Jennifer Aniston film.
A good one. Oh,
Bruce Almighty.
booyah!
Okay.
Yeah.
Marley
That's
and Me is apparently good, even though it's too sad.
I
I've never
had a
watched
similar
it.
experience with Jennifer Aniston because I had to just look it up to remember the name of the film. It's a film called The Good Girl, in which I thought it was going to be a comedy, and it definitely wasn't. Because I just assumed that Jennifer Aniston only did comedies, and it's about like this woman having like a midlife crisis and stuff, and like it's really quite like it's like one of her first kind of like serious roles, and I remember just being like, this isn't Rachel from Friends.
So okay, we've both been tricked by Jennifer Aniston.
Hey, We're the
Trick.
Millers is not bad. I quite like that movie.
Yeah, actually, I
That's
quite like
pretty
it.
good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And wasn't
Um,
Horrible Bosses quite well reviewed?
Yeah, Horrible Bosses is okay. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes
Jennifer
jokes about male rape, so
character is- Yeah, her character is an abuser.
Yeah,
Essentially.
she's a bit of a.
It's like,
yeah,
look,
she's
it's funny because a woman's doing it. See how this is funny? Normally men do this, but as a woman does it, it's funny. Isn't it funny? We are evolved past this.
Yes.
It's been a decade since then. Anyway, Tara, what was your worst cinema experience?
Okay. Well, I hate to bring it back to this Twilight again. I'm so sorry.
What?
I don't know how this keeps happening. Okay, let me take you back to the era Twilight has been released, and the next big film is New Moon. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I was very, very excited to see this, as was my best friend Julia. Okay, so we're living in Kenya at the time. We're at school, and the film is released. We head to the cinema, get to the ticket office. We're like, "See for New Moon," and they're like, "It's not out. We're not showing it. It's not on."
What?
So it had been released in most of the world, but because I lived in Kenya, they were like, "Nah, we just don't have it." And this is one of my worst cinema going experience, not because of what it did to me, but because of what it did to Julia. Because I just saw her heart break, her soul just died when he said she was just like, because we were so excited for that film.
Oh,
You
so
just see her
sad.
breaking.
Horrible to see when you see someone you love. Just
Oh, that's
such
awful.
pain. Yeah,
Oh, bless her.
and we went home without seeing a film, and yeah, it's stuck in my mind.
How old were you then?
What year was that? Maybe like 15, 16 years old?
There's
It
a
was
lot
rough,
riding on
man.
that movie.
It
There
was
was
rough.
there was a lot of emotions going in
Yeah.
for that one.
Did it
Wow.
eventually come out in Kenya? Were you able to see it?
It did eventually come out. I think some months later. That's how long it
Oof.
Oh man.
Oh gosh.
was rough. Go on, Danny.
Well, I have a handful of bad cinema
Just give us-
experiences.
Give us one.
I
Go on.
could give you a rundown of all of the bad cinema experiences that I have, but like some of them stand out, and but the one that stands out the most to me is my first ever IMAX experience, and it was at the BFI. Cast your minds back to let me see. I think 2007. I'm just gonna confirm that. But it was for my birthday. It was 2008. Can you guys think of any amazing movies? Possibly
Avatar.
one of the best movies ever made.
Avatar.
That came out in
2008.
2008. No, it wasn't Avatar.
It was Avatar.
No, wait.
It wasn't
let us guess.
Avatar.
Dark
You know, I
Knight.
don't know.
It was indeed The Dark Knight.
He always
Um,
films in IMAX.
possibly one of the best movies ever made.
You didn't know
and
that at the time, though.
I did not know that going into the into the cinema, but it's IMAX, the one in BFI Waterloo. So it's an incredible venue to go and see a movie.
Biggest screen in
especially
Europe at the time.
biggest screen in Europe at the time. So it's an event. You pay like 30 quid for the ticket in 2008 or whatever. So you pay a lot of money to go and see this. Usually you're paying like £5 for a ticket back in 2008. So it's a massive thing. And we go into the cinema. I'm super excited because I loved Batman Begins. And I'm super excited for this new Dark Knight movie. There's been so much buzz around it. Heath Ledger is incredible. We go into the cinema. We start watching the film. We're about 15 minutes into the film, and a fire alarm goes off during the bank heist scene. So literally first 10 minutes into the film, everyone out, evacuation of the whole cinema, standing outside for half an hour. They didn't reset the film. They got everyone back in after like half an hour and just carried on playing the film they just pressed pause, and then they got everyone in. I shit you not, 25 minutes later, the fire alarm goes off again. Everyone back out, and it happened. I'm not kidding. It happened like 5 times throughout the entirety of the movie. So whenever we were just sitting there watching this film, like, this is incredible, but you're just sitting there thinking the fire alarm's going to go off any minute. So my first, they gave us a refund. They did give us a refund, but it will always go down as possibly the worst cinema experience ever, for possibly the best film ever made. So I had to go and see it again because I could only remember it in fragments. It was like, was that bit between the 4th fire alarm or the 3rd fire alarm? I can't actually remember. But yeah, it was somewhere between the 1st and the 3rd.
That's actually reminded me of another worst cinema experience I had at the same IMAX, and this was for when Avatar came out. I'm an unapologetic fan of Avatar, bite me. And me and my dad went and saw it at the movies more than I've ever gone to see any other movie at the cinema. We went so many times. And then I think it was my birthday, he specifically bought just me and him tickets to go to the IMAX. It was like a really special day out, just the two of us, super excited. I suffer from migraines, and during the movie I got a migraine and I had the glasses on and I get really bad auras, so I had to close my eyes, and then my dad thought I was bored and fell asleep, and I was like, no, and I couldn't tell him I had a migraine because he'd got really worried about me, and it was just I felt so bad. And he spent all this money, and we'd gone into London for it, and I felt so guilty.
That's so upsetting.
I also have a bad experience at that IMAX.
Yes! Give us more!
So, my first trip there, it was actually a school trip in year 7 or 8 or something. So I'm sort of 12 years old. We have a school trip to London because it's a big deal when you don't live in London. And we got to visit the IMAX because it was so new. And it wasn't to see a film, it's to see a short film just to show how amazing the 3D is. Anyway, that's all background to it. But before that, we'd gone to a market and we bought random stuff because we were children. And I bought this. So it was basically a balloon, but it was filled with sand.
Yeah.
And so you can squidge it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I had this.
I can see where this is going already, and I'm so excited.
Used to be called flower babies.
Something like that. And we get to the cinema and we're sat in the lobby area waiting to go into the screen, and I'm playing with it. What happened? Everyone. And my teachers are just because I was 12 and I was just not confident at all. It was one of the most embarrassing moments of my childhood. And afterwards we saw the short film, and it was it's astronauts, they're in space on a satellite or on a space station. I don't know how it works, but it looked really cool. But all I could think about was what just happened. I'm like, this is so cool. I'm so stupid.
Oh, poor baby Tara.
I don't think I've actually been back since then.
Bless you, man. Oh, that is sad.
That IMAX is cursed.
That IMAX is
Kieran,
cursed.
any bad experiences at the IMAX?
No, I've had always been a good time.
Because you only gone with me.
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
I went to go and see Doctor Strange at that IMAX, and
So did
it was
we.
mind
That must
bending.
have
It
been
was great.
sick.
It was so good. Yeah, it was really
Oh,
good.
yeah.
I went to go see Interstellar there as well, and that
Oh.
was mwah, chef's kiss, chef's kiss.
I would
Mwah.
love to see a Nolan movie on IMAX screen because he actually shoots properly in IMAX.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a really cool experience.
Yeah, nice guys. Keep talking up IMAX just so we don't sour the potential sponsorship.
Yeah, IMAX, we
Yeah.
love you. We've
IMAX
had
is
terrible
great.
experiences with you.
How many viewers do we have right now?
Like a whole one.
Yes.
Hello to the one.
Anyway,
Hi.
Is it that one fan there?
we have one viewer and one fan. Different objects.
Okay, so I have another. Well, I mean, it's not bad. It's not a bad cinema story. But I once, as you do when you're sort of like 15, 16, I took a girl to the cinema and I was like, okay,
Ooh, Danny, calm down.
we know what's up. We know what's up. We're gonna sit in the back.
Okay.
We're gonna sit in the back row, and we're gonna maybe share a few kisses, that kind of thing.
Ooh.
If,
Danny.
be a bit cheeky. And so I took this girl to the cinema. I was like, we're gonna go to the cinema. We both knew what was up. We got to the cinema, and there was absolutely nothing on. I'm talking nothing. There was only one movie that we could have gone and seen, and it was Fred, the movie.
No.
What's that?
Does anyone know Fred? He was a YouTube
He was a
star.
YouTuber.
He had like some
Oh,
squeaky ass voice.
with the orange?
No, it was
No, that was another game.
different to the orange, but it was this
Okay.
essentially this YouTuber who basically made a living off of like auto tuning his voice to the absolute max, but like having some squeaky ass voice. And he made a movie. Essentially, it was like one of the first like YouTubers to go on and make a movie. Anyway, we chose that movie, and I'm ashamed to say that it still happened. We still had a few kids, but it was to Fred, the movie, and I'm ashamed of it. I'm ashamed of it every single day.
I mean, it's kind of better that you saw a bad film because then you can just concentrate on that business. Because you're not going to do that. You're not gonna
Indeed,
do
you wouldn't
that
want to
Dark
watch an
Knight.
amazing film like, I don't know, Captain America: First Avenger.
It's true.
And-
It was our first date.
as
Our
I've got-
first date, and he
It was an
I-
amazing
I-
film.
I-
I haven't got time for
and he
making out.
He just wouldn't
Is
kiss
it like
me.
you-
He just
is it like
would
you
not
didn't
kiss me.
exist?
Yeah. We were making
This
out.
is a
in the-
Steve
in the-
Rogers
in-
origin story.
Like
in the
he
the
kissed
back
me
row.
before we went in, and as soon as like it was over and we were like moving out of the cinema, then I got a kiss, and I was sitting the whole movie so bored because
People have no respect for the sanctity of Chris Evans.
It was so bad. That was like that date. I have no idea how we're still together. That date was so bad. God. Anyway, 8 years
So-
later, it's like that right.
I have a bad experience turned good.
Okay.
Okay.
The turnaround.
Yeah, okay. So the film was Inception, okay? So
Already bad.
2009. Boo! I love Inception! Great film.
Suck on it.
Wah.
Oh,
It's a boring movie. It's a boring movie.
Anyway,
okay. Right.
Tara was watching
2009,
Inception.
11 years ago. Oh my gosh.
Blow our
Oh my
ears out.
God,
Oh my
Danny.
god.
I'm sorry to all those headphone listeners out there.
All one of you. We're very sorry.
Anyway,
Anyway, Tara was
So I
seeing
was-
Inception.
thank you.
Mhm. So I believe I was around 15, and it was in England for the summer. And I was staying with a family friend, who also had another couple of teenage boys staying with them. So we all went to the cinema, see Inception, and about maybe 5-10 minutes in, the screen stops working, so it
Oh,
just
no.
like shuts down black. No one knows what's going on. And then the attendants come in and they're like, okay, we're gonna have to restart it, but everyone gets a free ticket for it. So we watched Inception. It was obviously amazing. And then we saw something else after because we had the free ticket, which is Inception was so good that I can't even remember what that movie was after. Whatever list. And then it was great because one, I got to hang out with these boys more. You know what I mean? Like,
Nice.
and then I think we all got to like walk home together, but it was I think it was summertime, but it was late enough that it was dark, so it was like 11 o'clock. But I'd never just like hung out with the boys. And it
Oh
was
my
like
god!
like nothing happened because I was a very innocent teenager.
No, but that's a moment for you.
But it was just like really sweet and really exciting. I was like, thank you, cinema, for messing up that screening, and then we got to stay out late. That was my bad
Amazing.
sentence.
All right, shall we get to the best experiences rather than just the worst?
I've got another middling one, but it's an experience we had. So I don't know if you want to share the story of how we went and saw Lion King.
Oh, they're very confusing.
Yeah,
Right. So we booked to go see the Lion King remake
with our friend.
But we picked the wrong day.
Well, basically, we went. We had like a habit of the three of us would go to the movies together quite a lot, and seriously miss doing that because that was a lot of fun. And we were like, we kind of would start seeing all the Disney remakes together after we went and saw Aladdin and had a really good time. So like, we'll go see the Lion King one. And Kieran booked the tickets for us. I'd like to point out, Kieran booked the tickets. And we show our tickets. The guy kind of looks at them and is like, we're like, okay. And we go sit in the screen and we're like, why is this screen so empty? Like, this film has just come out. And like, why aren't the trailers showing yet? And we look at the tickets and it's for the wrong day. Like, Kieran booked it for the day before.
No.
So we were like,
why did they let you in then?
It was very busy.
It was
It's like
really
View
busy.
Stratford.
Oh, right.
People are back and forth everywhere.
busy.
They just drip it.
So Kieran was like, he went and tried to talk to a staff member to be like, can we get these tickets swapped over to one for today? Sorry, like our fault. And the staff were, because they were so overwhelmed, they were like, you have to resolve this via an automated voice service.
Yeah.
So Kieran's on the phone. I'm seething with rage. My friend, who has a lot more sense than either of us, was just like, okay, what screenings are on right now? Because we'd already been let through. We were already past the ticket
we had
checking
paid
point.
and been let through.
And she had, this is actually really bad to admit, she had the idea of, if we find seats that haven't been taken in a screen, if we go on to the View app and then hold on to those seats, as if you're making a booking, it holds the seats for 15 minutes, by which point the movie will have started. So we went and did that. So we were sitting. It was so bad, and what was even worse, Kieran got through to like this automated voice message, and eventually went to like an automated chat messaging service. So as the movie starts, they give us a refund for it, and we're like already in the seats.
You're going to hell.
And I was like, because we deliberately chose like the
going
worst
down.
seats. We were in the corner at the front, like it was the worst seats. Every time someone walked past, I was having kittens. Our friend was just like, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Like,
No one cares.
no one cares. It's fine. The cinema was full. Like, there was like, I think maybe 2 or 3 spare seats. But because she had put the seats in her basket, it meant that no one could book those seats.
Wow.
It's
I mean,
genius.
no one cares in these cinemas. I probably shouldn't be saying this live on air, but in every screening I've ever been to with View, I just, as soon as the curtains go down and it's 10 minutes into the movie, the movie starts, just straight into the VIP seats if they're empty, straight in.
Well, that's a big admission.
That is
No one
a
cares.
move.
I've never been.
Who
I've
are you to
no one,
judge
no one,
lists?
no one,
Shut up!
no
It
one,
was my time.
no one has ever come and moved me out, and I've enjoyed my sort of leg room and my sort of lovely leather seat.
All right, before anyone admits to major
Before we
fraud.
You know what? We know what I do.
further.
Like, after like 10 minutes into the movie, I just whip up my camera and start filming it, post it online.
In case you want to watch it again,
Yeah, all of my friends want to see it. I am joking. I do not pirate movies. I just went and one time, accidentally saw the movie for free. Then we used those tickets to go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and that movie was bad. So, if anything, we really karmically paid for that.
That's
There
incredible.
you go.
Should we do best cinema experiences before
Yeah.
anyone admits to any more crimes?
Best cinema experience. Go on, Tal. What's yours? Give me time to think. I haven't thought of one.
I've got a few that come to mind. I'll just quickly say, so one of my very, very sweet memories was when Casino Royale came out. I went and saw it with my dad at a local independent cinema, and I think it was quite empty. But I was so excited, and I love it when my parents we share like common interests, and I knew that he loves Bond from back in the day. And we just sat and just had a really nice time. It was a really good film. That was one of my best ones. And then also when we took Bean to see 50 Shades of
I
Grey.
was gonna say that one. It was the best. I feel
I
like
think you should tell that story.
oh my god. So our friend Ben is potentially one of the nicest people on this planet. Like, we all love Ben, and the thing about Ben is
I don't think I was a dick.
no, you love him. Shut up. You especially love Ben.
Oh, my friends here. I think I've mentioned like Ben a couple times here and there, and now they think he's really awful. It's like as a joke.
He is. He's the worst human known to
What
man.
are you guys talk about? He's so sweet. They're like, nah, that guy.
Like,
They're gonna
Ben,
be very shook when they meet him.
Ben is one of my favorite people ever. And we had somehow in our final year of undergrad at uni, we had somehow managed to, me and Tara, all of the girls that we were living with, and Danny, who was kind of living with us but kind of wasn't living with us, had gone on placement. So we were like, it's just the two of us, we need a third. So we essentially stole Ben and made him live with us.
He wanted it.
He loved it. So we lived in a flat together in what was my final year of uni and Ben's final year of uni, but then Tara went on and did her masters. And we used to have really fun movie nights together. It was really cute. Like, we used to push the sofas in our lounge together. We made a little nest. There used to be an offer on at Pizza Hut on a Wednesday, which was Ninja Turtle themed. And we used to get cheap pizza and watch movies. Like, we had some adorable times. One of the highlights being when we played the feminist Twilight drinking game. 10 out of 10. That was a great night.
Oh yeah. Twilight comes up again.
Twilight again. And in a weird way, 50 Shades is also Twilight.
Yeah, that's
we hadn't read the books, but I believe that I just remembered this. We did group readings of 50 Shades, you, me, and Ben. And you did a northern accent.
Oh, God.
Because you were Anastasia, he was Christian, and I was just the narration in between.
Oh, God. You guys.
We drank a lot at uni, an unhealthy amount. But anyway, we eventually forced Ben to go to the cinema with us. I believe that we just booked his ticket, so we didn't have an option. And we go to the cinema, and he is the only man in the cinema. It's full, and we've got good seats, and we make him sit between us.
Just to enjoy his reactions.
And
Excellent.
I started counting every time he went at the movie, and I got up to I was in the 50s and I lost count, and we were not even halfway through. It was an amazing experience. That was gonna be one of the ones I mentioned, because it was unrivaled for the amount of fun I had in that cinema, just because he hated that movie so much. At one point he was just going, oh God.
Knowing Bean the way I do, I know exactly how he was reacting, and his utter disdain probably after the film, and his probably persistent explanation of why he thought it was terrible for hours after.
But that's the thing. The reason we love Bean so much is that if you ask him, "Do you want to do blank?" he'll just be like, "Yeah, why not?" He's really easygoing, and I think that was the one time we truly tested his patience. That was a really, really funny experience.
All right, what about you, Danny? Have you thought of one?
Yeah. I don't actually like cinema, so I don't know why I'm here.
Cool. Moving
He
on.
just left right now.
He's like, and I'm done. Goodbye.
Too on the spot. Give me a couple more.
All right, no worries.
Okay.
I have time for a story. I've got one. Okay, so I'm 11. I am so excited for the first Lord of the Rings to come out. I had read The Hobbit and the first Lord of the Rings book in advance, even though, frankly, any 11-year-old who reads and like understands Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, like fair play to that 11-year-old, because it was just words to me. But like, so I'm really excited. My whole family is excited, and it was my first cinema trip in America. And Americans who may like listen to this, it won't seem weird to you, but it was super weird to me when this happened, and it was glorious. So we're watching Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. Me, my whole family, and it's like an enormous family, like 22 of us. We're all together in the cinema in a packed out screening of Fellowship of the Ring.
Was it in Queens?
No, it was in Florida. And we're like, for most of the film, there's sort of silence. Nobody says anything. No loud audiences. It's all quiet until the moment that Aragorn chops off Lurtz's head. Standing freaking ovation. Everyone starts cheering and standing up, and I'd never seen this in a cinema. Like, applause at the end of a film, I think, is relatively common in the States, but not in the UK.
It doesn't happen here, like, at all.
But like, Aragorn knocks off his head, and the whole cinema, like 4th of July, like, oh, cheering, clapping. People were standing up for Viggo Mortensen.
I love that.
It was amazing. Perhaps my best cinema experience ever.
You also had one. I always thought you were going to refer to the Queen's one where you saw Jurassic World.
I could do that one too, but it will involve offensive voices. So I went to go see Jurassic World in Queens, and the thing about Queens is people from Queens have, one, amazing accents, two, they are extremely vocal.
We got family in Queens.
Yeah.
Big shout and love to Queens.
My cousin took me to like a really nice Queens cinema, like big comfy seats that you like lie back, full butter popcorn, delicious. And we wanted to go see Jurassic World, and we happened to be sat next to a couple. And the woman from this couple was extremely vocal, but also extremely Queens, and would just comment throughout the movie like, oh, he gonna die. Oh my God, it's big. Just various, just expulsions of feeling and thought, like every 5 minutes. Like, oh damn, it's gonna be the T-Rex. Like, if you're English, go to the cinema in America.
When you saw Dark Knight Rises, Liz.
Oh no! Oh yeah, it was Dark Knight Rises. When at some point, I can't remember when. But I was in a local cinema, and someone said, I think it was about Batman trying to hit Bane, and someone yelled out, "Go on, mate, twat him!"
The English equivalent.
But we had another lovely experience when we were in Florida. We saw Wonder Woman in Florida by accident because our flight got cancelled. So we did what any self-respecting person would do, and we went to Universal Studios, City Walk, theme park reference.
Right.
And we went and saw Wonder Woman because it was pouring with rain and we couldn't get into the theme park, so I'll go see a movie. And it was only us and like 2 other families in there. It was a big screen. But one of the families, they had their son with them, and he was quite young.
He was quite young.
Like,
I remember
to
thinking like
be seeing it
PG-13, like this 8-year-old's a bit young for this.
Yeah, and I think he was younger than that. I think he was probably about 6.
Okay.
Very cute kid. And then the most adorable thing I've ever heard, when she kind of walks up and is like is about to walk through no man's land.
When she has her hero moment.
Her hero moment, like you see her in her costume for the first time. He stands up, points at the screen, and goes, "She's a Wonder Woman!" And it was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
That's so sweet.
That is super cute.
It was so cute.
That's cute.
Any other good experiences
Go on,
before we
Danny.
wrap up? Go on, Dan. You got to have at least one.
I haven't got any that are.
You always have a horrible time.
I just always have a horrible time. Fire alarms going off. I was once in a cinema in my local cinema from where I'm from in Essex, Lakeside Cinema, Lakeside View, and we had to evacuate the screen there. I remember because there was a bomb scare in the shopping centre.
What?
Classic Essex.
Danny, we can't end on that. We have to...
On that bombshell.
No, I refuse.
And on
Danny,
that, classic.
I have a good experience for you. When we went to Brooklyn to the Nighthawk cinema and saw Ladybird. That
was a great experience.
Yeah.
And you know, that was the first time I'd been in a cinema and like had a waiter come up to me while I was in the cinema to bring me my food, and like
Yeah.
they had like a unique system where like you would like put your order, like your drinks order and your food order, on a scratch card kind of thing, on a sort of order card, and then he would come along and take it and then bring you food, bring you drink. And it was kind of like what Everyman is now, if you've been to an Everyman, but it was less polished than an Everyman. It was like rustic, and it was like
cool.
it was really edgy and really
Yeah.
cool, and it was like sort of in this kind of sort of dingy part of Brooklyn, and it was just so authentic, and it was like kind of candlelight, and it was great. It was such a great experience. I can't remember what it was called. It was called like Nighthawk Cinema, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
if you're
I
in New
said
York,
that
check it out.
just now, Danny.
Oh, did you? Sorry. Nighthawk Cinema. Go check it out if you're in New York. It's great.
And
It's a real
on
good-
that bombshell,
bombshell.
Yes.
we can end the show.
Yeah, we're done.
Thank you so much for listening / watching. Shout out to our number one fan and to our
This
one
guy.
viewer.
This
Much
guy.
appreciated.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye. Recording the stream, and we're good to go.
Take it away, Danny.
What?
The music! The music!
Give me the music.
Hello and welcome to
I'm doing the intro.
Your Tara's doing the intro. Welcome to the Tara's intro. I'll just sit back here and
Amazing.
This is going great.